This episode of That Boys Got Knowledge was recorded at the House of Bombshell, located at 3601 Clarks Lane, Baltimore, Maryland.
I just wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you, okay?
Hey everyone, thank you guys for coming. I know y'all are used to the dudes and the guys being here, but scratch that, it's ladies only tonight. We are That Girl Got Knowledge. I'm Ruztique, and I met the boys like January. Long story short, I didn't want to give the whole spiel, but I met them in January. And we've been close ever since. So I run like the marketing, so all the social media and all that. That's me and my good boy J-Mo. So I'll let everybody else introduce themselves, what they do, and how they know the boys.
Yes, so I guess I'll start. My name is Janae. Janae Edly, of course, first and last name. But I run Phase Body Bar. I'm the owner of Phase Body Bar. I don't just run it. But it's a waxing, facial business. And I got into the podcast interview series that Boy Got Knowledge with John and just everybody. And from that point, I was kind of just added to the team of female power and all that good stuff. So here, welcome everyone. I know, right?
Okay, I'll go next. I am Ebonee Dixion. I am a licensed social worker. So I currently do therapy. I got involved by knowing John through basketball and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I'm Amber Tiana. I'm a surgery coordinator for Hopkins, and then I have my own swimsuit line, Tangled by Tiana. And I know him just friend of a friend. And then I brought her along, so I'll
So my name's Anglecia. I go by Gigi. I currently work for Mercy in a plastic and reconstruction office. Just got a licensed esthetician, so I'm currently doing my own business and everything and trying to start that up. She brought me here, so I'm just meeting everybody for the first time.
Yes.
Shout out to the licensed estheticians.
Yes,
in
I'm
the
ready.
building.
I'm so ready.
Yes, sis.
The ladies bringing the coins. I love to see it.
I know. I love to see it. Love to see it. So I guess we'll hop into the quote of the day, which will in turn push us into the topic of the day. So I guess just to start, we're going to start with talking about love languages and all that good stuff. So the quote of the day is don't lose someone that doesn't ask for anything but time. And I find that quote pretty interesting because, nowadays I feel like people are just everywhere, busy, doing this, doing that. So everyone's time, it's not even really about money anymore. It's about time, time and just how much time you spend with people and how you build those relationships. So I guess what does that mean to you guys? How does that, kind of show up in your life? Do you feel as though that quote is something that resonates with you and how you go about your relationships? Or, is it just something that you're just okay, whatever, if you want spend this time with me, that's cool, but I'm
50-50 with it because just because someone can be with you all the time doesn't necessarily mean that they're there.
Thank you.
So they can be there, but they're not really there. So it's 50-50. It's more than just time. I mean, you can bottle it up and say just time, but there's a lot more to it than just being there.
Yes, 100%.
I agree, because to me, I feel like time is a very valuable thing. You can't get time back. You can get money back. You can get gifts back. So if you waste my time by not, like you said, being there, you're just kind of there. To me, that's pointless. So just because you're only asking for my time is valuable.
Yeah.
Your time should
especially if we sit there and you mentally checked out.
Your time should be just as valuable as mine. So you should respect your own self, not to waste your time.
Yes. Yes. And I guess that also goes into the whole topic of love languages. So would you consider you, for example, Ebonee, would you consider time being a huge aspect of how you, I guess, express your love or want to receive love? Or is, your love language a part of one of the other four,
I think for me, time is neither here nor there because I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time to waste. I work 6 days a week. So that one off day, just because I have time, don't mean I want to spend that time with somebody else.
Right.
I might want to spend that time, that whole 24 hours, just sleep.
Yes.
So for me, I mean, my love language is quality time, physical touch.
Yeah.
So I can't physically touch you if I'm not spending that time.
That's true.
But I gotta know that, like you said, my time is valuable. I gotta know that you coming into my space, giving me something, and not wasting it.
That's real. That's real.
I'm very stingy with my time nowadays. I mean, honestly, it's all if the person is worth, my time. I feel like if you show me that you're worth this time, then I'll provide it. But like she said, I think my time is valuable. So I mean, honestly, and then like Amber said, like if you can be there, but just mentally checked out. So I just really have to. If I'm with somebody, I don't like long distance, and so I do feel like, you have to be present and in the moment, probably not too far, but we can just make it work. So I don't know, it's just dependent on the situation, whether if I'm dating someone or whether I'm with someone. But like I said, my, love language is really physical touch. So I guess if you don't spend time, you can't actually get that, but it's all in person.
I know, right? I guess like a follow-up question to just all the input that I've heard thus far is like on the reverse, do you feel like guys in turn value time over just all the other things? Like, of course, physical touch, we all know men are very primal and all that stuff, but in regards to like time, in your experience of dating, has time been something that they're just like, oh yes, like I need this, whatever, or is it like words of affirmation, or like is it gift giving? Like what other things like have you in your experience like felt like?
I feel like in the beginning, I mean, it's fresh, it's new, it's like the honeymoon stage. I mean, we're spending time all the time, and we're getting to know each other, and then we get into a relationship, or maybe we're just trying to get in a relationship, and then after a while,
it fades a little bit.
I mean, honestly, it's dependent on the person, like if you know this person is who you want to be with, and they know they want to be with you, I don't think they would necessarily do that, but it's some people out here that's kind of like tricky, they say that they want this, but then show another thing, so that's when it like switches, like the role switches. Oh, I'm doing this, or I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. When they wanted your time in the beginning, like the reason why I'm here is because you wanted my time.
Exactly.
So, and now I invested, and now you kind of like feel, I'm not like comfortable, comfortable.
Guys get bored quickly.
Relaxed.
Not all, but a lot of them, they just get bored quickly. You have to keep them entertained in that aspect. You got to give them different personalities.
Yes.
But I don't even think it's bored. I just think that they just, honestly, I mean, it's just what they want. If they really want you, they really want you, they actually will invest that time into you. Yeah. Because you can do everything, and
it won't even matter.
I mean, after a while, when they know that, okay, this is not what, I think people, men in particularly, or just people in general, just get kind of scared of the whole, moving further, or just, okay, I'm spending a lot of time, so, oh my gosh, so let me retreat, So it just honestly depends on what the person wants, if they want to spend that time.
And to me, that's like so confusing to me, because I've had that happen like several times before. People apply all of this pressure, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to go here, I want to do this, and then like the moment it starts to get for real, they be like, oh no.
They're scared.
It's too much. Like,
they're scared.
What's the purpose here? Like, why are you even doing all of that if you're not even gonna be on that type of time for real? So like for me, that makes it hard to even like decipher who is worth it versus like who's not worth it, because you can give all the energy, and then once it's time to be like, are you my boyfriend and I'm your girlfriend, it's an issue.
Like, no, seriously, that's real. That's real. And it's funny because I'll say recently I've found that I don't even remember the name of the article, but it was talking about how like women, a beneficial thing that we could do in the beginning is actually manipulate time. So manipulate, I guess, the amount of access that they have to us in the beginning for a certain amount of time, just to continue that chase, if you get what I'm saying. And I know it may sound like, playing games or whatever, but I feel like I've found in my little trial and error sessions that it works. So do you feel like, in regards to like manipulating time, like I'll give an example, like, he texts you at 9 or something like that, like, good morning, beautiful, whatever. You see it at probably like 9:05, but you don't respond back to like 11:15.
I don't it's honestly is if I like you or not. Like, honestly, if I like you, then I'm kind of all in, you know. But if I'm still feeling you out and foxing the situation, I'm not going to be that way. And I'm sorry. I just have to see, you know, because of what I went through in the past, I just have to see if you just worth that. You just worth that type of pressure, because they play games. Like, people play games. And I would say people, but, you know, they play games. So I just want to make sure. That's why I be telling her that. I just want to see. And
I don't do that. To me, if I see a text, it's just game. I don't like to play games. If I see a text, I'm gonna respond. I don't want to be tit for tat. Oh, well, you see my text and this and that. I don't want it to be like that. Like, we're grown. We're gonna express ourselves. I see your text, I respond. You the same. But like waiting 15 minutes and I'm just not a fan.
Oh, I don't wait 15 minutes. If I want to text you, I want to text you.
Yeah.
But I think that comes with like us like vulnerability. To move on from like the hurt that you've been through, because we all have been hurt before several times. It's not more than like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, but it's hard to get to that point, because I used to do the little tit for tat, like, oh, you took a long time, so I'm gonna take a little minute, or like, oh, I text you first, you gonna text me first this time. But I feel like
I don't know why she's looking at me. Honestly, honestly how I feel. I'm
same thing.
Like you.
I feel like it depends, because I feel like sometimes if I don't respond, I genuinely just didn't see it.
That too.
Sometimes I'm with clients, or I'm at my other job, so I'm not necessarily purposely not texting you back because you didn't text me back. But that's how the games get started. It's, oh, you didn't respond for 7 hours. I was at work.
And you didn't respond. You looked at my Instagram story.
I had 5 minutes.
I forgot about Instagram.
You didn't respond, but you looked at my Instagram.
Or you posted, or you did this. So I had time for that. But sometimes if you responded to a text message, they're expecting a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not just, hey, you good? It's what you doing, where you at, what time you going this place, you hungry? I don't have time for 21 questions right now.
People get too entitled to your time. So like, even though they may ask for the time, like, just because I'm doing this or doing that does not mean I have to like text you back in this instant, or like call you back in this, because like you said, you're busy. Like, I may have had the 2 seconds. For me, it's different because people know, like, I'm on my phone all day. Like, I work in social media. So for me, it's kind of hard to maneuver.
But you're still working. Because you on your phone don't mean that you got time to be entertaining a text thread. You working. You working on somebody's Instagram, helping them promote their business. You don't got time for that.
Exactly. On top of the fact that you probably want to dedicate, like, your attention to whatever text or whatever it is. Because I hate the whole, like, trying to respond back fast, but it's like, you know, you want to go into detail about just like your day, whatever, but you don't really have the time to do so. So yeah, but I feel like nowadays it's like weird, because I've been in both situations where I respond back fast, and then like the guy's very receptive of that and he appreciates it actually, but then in other instances where I feel like I'm responding back fast and
they say it works out when the guy has to like you more. He has to
that
like
too.
You more, like
Exactly.
That's
real. That's very real right there. So
speaking of guys and liking and dating and texting, like, how do y'all feel about dating nowadays in 2021? Y'all know on social media, everybody and their mama have an opinion on how a date should go, how much money you should spend, how y'all split the bills. Did y'all meet on a dating site? Did y'all meet in person? So like, what is y'all's preference of meeting men nowadays?
Everything is social media. People think that it's not a dating. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that is a form of, that's just like having a Tinder or whatever dating sites there are, Harmony, whatever. That's the same thing. A DM is liking, oh, she liked pictures, I'm a DM her. It's a form, it's a dating website. That's how you meet. Nobody really ever meets, I like to say, organically in person. If a guy talks to you in person, you're like, what is he doing? Why are you talking to me? But that's what people are supposed to do. But everything is social media. I'm gonna DM you, I'm gonna like pictures, she gonna like my pictures, and we're gonna go from here. And then I've met guys on social media and we gotten serious, and then they don't understand of why I get upset when you're liking all of these girls' pictures. I'm like, that's how me and you met. Like, you don't understand. That's how we
that's real.
They're like, it's just Instagram, but that's how we met.
Exactly.
That's why I don't like the DM thing. I don't like it. I mean, I've tried it, I've done it, but I just feel like, I don't know, if we get serious, I'm gonna start thinking like, you know, you slid into mine. Now, if we met each other out, you seen me out or something, and you say, hey, I seen you, you know, like, that's fine. That's totally fine. But just follow me on Instagram and just slid in my DMs. I'm gonna get a little skeptical. I'm
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes.
no.
Oh man.
But as far as money spent, like we can go to Five Guys or something like that. I don't really care for, as long as we're having like fun and it's genuine. Like I'm not gonna say we going to Five Guys every 3 dates. Like no, but
Yes.
I don't mind going to Five Guys or somewhere. Just chill. We can go on an ice cream date. Like you don't have to spend a bunch of money. But we're not gonna do that every single time. And sometimes I'll pay the bill. I'm not saying a guy has to pay the bill. I'll be like, I got it this time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Reciprocation. Yeah. You don't always have to pay the bill. And note on what she said, like we like to date, like guys nowadays just want you to pull up at their crib. And I'm not a fan.
That's the worst.
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I can't, we can have a date that no, that's not how we doing things.
Especially
I feel
because of COVID, they feel like that's an excuse.
Oh, it was it was an excuse all COVID. It was an excuse all COVID, definitely. But I mean, a guy actually told me they're only going to do what you allow, and a man actually told me
this is facts.
A man actually told me
this is facts.
Like the ball is in your court. They're going to do what you people are going to do what you allow. So when he told me that, I was like, oh, y'all know, because you're telling me this, and I know how you are. So
basically,
it don't have to be a fancy restaurant, even though I like fancy things. But if I see that you're showing effort and time and volume in my time, and really want to take me out, and we can go to the park, we have a picnic or something, but let's date. That's I don't want to come over your house, the first date or anything, or just because it's COVID or anything. Let's go to the park. Let's walk. Let's talk. Let's do something. There's plenty of things for us to do in this world. You know what I mean? Don't give me that excuse that we can't go out somewhere.
Exactly.
But I mean, if I happen to come over or anything, the first date or anything like that, then that's on me. But at least you didn't initiate that. Like lead with that. Let's come over. I just want to date properly. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Well, I feel like the first topic has been, pretty well addressed. Now we're going to roll into an ad, so we'll be right back.
I just want to spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you. Okay, make me feel away, make me feel away.
Alright, so we're back. And so I think as the years go on, it's 2021, about to be 2022. Women are on top, doing the thing, doing everything, collecting their coins, handling business. So with the growth and the evolution of women, do y'all feel like double standards are still a thing? How do you feel about women starting to take over with things, starting to make more money, starting to have a voice in their careers? How does that feel for you? And then how does that feel when you have to deal with men? So men who maybe aren't as secure or confident or in the same place that you all are, because we all are very successful women. So love to see it, but yeah.
Catch up. Let me stop.
I've never really had a man be too insecure. Maybe in my younger days. But like I said, I have been a breadwinner in a relationship. Not to say I had a whole bunch of money, but I mean, honestly, I just feel like nowadays I just want someone kind of on my level to see, someone that has goals and dreams and that can elevate me as well as I can elevate him. But as far as being insecure, I'll go back to my younger days. I mean, I think it was a competition, a friendly competition kind of. And if I motivate you, then okay. But some people just honestly might put your dreams down. I mean, I've had men, a best friend of mine say a man put her dreams down, she wasn't going to do anything. She was a mother. So, and she made it. She's on top right now, So I think men get really intimidated because they know they're insecure about themselves and just say, okay, well, I'm supposed to be doing this and that for her. But I see her shine and I see her elevate and I see that she's going to make it. So that right there intimidates me, or that makes me feel like a less of a man, so to speak. So
I agree with a lot that she's saying. Now at 30 years old, I will say I will not date a guy that doesn't meet. He can't be below me, basically. Not saying I'm better than anyone, but I feel like we have to be on the same level or higher. When I was younger, I had my son when I was 19 years old, and I stopped going to college so that his dad can chase his dreams of being a football player. I was bartending, doing bottle service, taking care of a baby. And I just always told myself, like, I will never be that girl again. Like, I stopped my dreams for a guy. So I feel like now I'm just selfish. Like, you either have to come with what I'm coming or more, or we can't date.
I know that's right. Well, I think I'm like the youngest one here, clearly. So, I'm only like 24, so I'm not much younger.
We're together.
I'm much younger.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm still, like, so for me, I haven't got to, like, that, like, fully bossed up level. Like, you know, this is my first job out of college, all of that stuff. So, for me, like, I'm still just trying to step into myself and like what I want, like.
But you don't.
And you will.
Yes,
you
thank
will.
you. Thank you. So like trying to step into like my femininity and then like my career, all of that stuff. But for me, I do feel like there is a double standard, just especially with now with social media. And I feel like all like the double standard comes from social media. And I feel like everybody's like ideas come from social media too. So like whatever works for you, like whatever works for you ultimately at the end of the day. So like when it comes to like you and your man, say like, you know, you make more than your man. If that works for y'all, that's okay. Like,
not again, not now.
No, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying like if like that does, like maybe not for you, but for somebody else, if that works, you know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. Like it's not the end of the world. If your man, you know, makes more than you, I mean I would like to have that way. But you know, like that's great too. You know, if y'all want to split the bills, do that. That's your business. So I feel like the whole double standard thing is really a competition, like you said, Janae. Like everybody wants to be like, no, I would never do this because my man does this. Or
and social media is just a front. People are
not living
a whole facade.
It is.
Kevin saying moves that into the chat. Like when he said whatever his name is.
Y'all not living how y'all say it.
Man, no, I found that like in my experience, not even like in my like work or like my profession. Well, all right, I'll backtrack. So I used to work in construction. I was a project manager. I worked with a lot of white men. So I was always like running the show with them. And I found that just as I've left that industry, my attitude alone is more so like an initiator, leader, alpha woman in that context. And I feel like the guys that I've come into contact with, like, they admire that. They think it's amazing. They admire it. But then when it comes into the realm of like our relationship and how I like to lead, and then now I'm thinking about it, now I'm saying it out loud, I may have to just chill out for real and like, you know, kind of allow a man to do his thing. But I've kind of felt like in some ways that some guys have been intimidated by me, just because how like I guess structured and on point I am like with certain things, and like not saying that they can't keep up, but more so I feel like they kind of get into their heads about this expectation that they may think that I want of them, when it's really just, you know, I'm in my lane, you're in your lane, but we can come together and kind of, you know, make this whole thing work. And I don't know, it's like a tricky situation because it really all depends on who you're dealing with for real. Like, yeah, so.
I agree. I have that same experience. As an alpha female, I want to do everything for me.
Yes.
I don't need you to go buy my bags, buy my shoes. I don't need you to do that because I can do it for me. But if you're going to do it and you're going to add to what I got, that's what I'm going to receive. But I'm not going to require you to do that because if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Basically.
And I find that when they see that I'm doing that, it's like, oh, well, she's too good for me. But that's not my problem. That's your problem with you.
Right.
You gotta figure that out on your own time.
Yeah.
I hate for a guy to see you something and be like, oh, what guy bought you that? Why did a guy have to buy me this?
Exactly.
Why do men think that like our whole world? First off, like why do they think our whole world revolves around them? Like
I have no clue.
Like literally, I had somebody tell me like they saw me because my hair used to be like long or much longer than this, and like I cut it and colored it, and like somebody like an old dude that I saw like when I went out of town or something like that, he was just like, oh, what breakup did you just go through?
Oh,
like,
did you cut your hair?
Because I cut my hair. Like,
Wow.
why do men think like the world revolves
It
around
has
them?
something to do with it.
Yes,
Yeah,
like, oh, you want to switch up something, like, oh, you want to boss up, like, who hurts your feelings? Can I not just do this for me? Like,
Exactly.
can I not spend my own coin to make myself look good, make myself feel better?
Exactly.
I don't understand that narrative at all, and I don't think social media helps with like that narrative either. It's
Really ridiculous.
I feel like that type of thing is a projection though, because
Yes.
like, you know, if they in turn think that like everything that we do is about them, then internally everything that they do is about us. Like, you know, just how flashy you are, how you represent yourself on social media, just how you go about, you know, just how you represent yourself in life. Like, I feel like a lot of men kind of do it for the admiration of a woman to, you know, kind of notice them or, you know, want to kind of get into their world and then, you know, see how they are. It's like, it's really weird. Like you said, everything is like a facade. So I feel like everybody's putting on like a show just to like, you know, make themselves presentable and like the next best catch for like
the next person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
the
it's
next
like,
man.
but it's crazy because it's flighty. Like everything is so flighty. Like one moment his attention will be over here, and the next moment it's over there, and it's like, are you going to slow down? Like
absolutely not. They're not.
Like
A person like that, no, absolutely not.
And it's like, how can you actually create those genuine relationships with people if you're so flighty and so up in the air and like your attention is here, there, and like you said before too. When I think about it, a lot of it and a lot of people's, I'll say, inspired action and the things that they, I guess, concern themselves with are revolved around like social media and like what they see other people doing. So no one's real feelings or real representation is authentic to themselves now. Like it's
and that's what scares me too.
Yeah,
being so flighty and just you not being genuine, you know. And it's like, are you really this person, or are you putting on a front for social media or for other people?
Yeah,
that is what really scares me, and that is why the best advice I could have heard from anyone was take your time with people. Like, it was so cliche. It was just like, okay, whatever. But it was so true. Take your time with a person, because at the end of the day, you really do not know people.
Yeah.
You do not know their aspects of life. You don't know what they're in your life for. You don't know why they're here. You just have to really, really know people. People jump into stuff so quick.
For real.
And then they're wondering, like, a year later, like, how did I even get here? Like, no, I don't want to make them same mistake again. I just want to take my time, just go with the flow, and just actually be in the moment, but still, you know, feel everything out, you know, be friends, you know, like nobody wants to be friends. They just want to skip that and just start having sex.
Exactly.
You know, invite you to their house.
Yeah.
Stuff, so
then you become a different person. Like you said, when you look up a whole year later and realize you've been distracted from your goals and like your aspirations simply because you know, had your attention on your goals, but then you deviated from your plan because you wanted to bring them into your situation, but then they so flighty, then they left, and then you stuck. It's like, damn, okay, well, I guess I got to restart. And then you restarting a whole year over again that you could have been, you know, quantum leaped into like a whole new level for yourself. So,
over somebody else.
Exactly.
And
like,
that starting over phase is just so dramatic. It's so dramatic, and it's so much, because especially when you like really get invested with someone, it's just like you share so much. You share your hurt, you share your trauma, you share your happiness, you share a lot of things. So I feel like that's like when you constantly have to do that over and over again. I think that's what makes it really hard to like, you know, just do anything in life. Like have friends for all that matters. Have friends, have relationships, because like, to even really be like acceptably functional in those type of things, like you have to do some healing, because I mean everybody has like their own trauma, everybody has like their own past. Come on, Miss Social Worker.
I know, right?
Yes. No, absolutely. I think, especially as Black women, it's hard for us to be able to function and for people to accept the fact that we have these traumas, we have these past experiences. Our expectation is that, oh no, you broke up with him yesterday, you going to work tomorrow morning and you gotta be top flight, you gotta have on your smile, your hair gotta be done, your eyebrows gotta be snapped, like everything gotta be done. I can't look rough today, even though I had this breakup yesterday, and that's not real. That's not real for nobody. But men, they wake up and they go, oh, nothing ever happened. Or they act like it.
They
act like it.
Yeah. And some men don't understand that. Like,
it depends what the situation is.
Yeah.
If they messed up, if you messed up, it all depends.
Yeah.
That's tricky too.
Yeah, for real. And it's crazy because when I think about like trauma that like Black women go through or have gone through, like we have the trauma that we've endured in our own lives, but then we also have like trauma from like our DNA and like how that, you know, is slid into just like your makeup and your world and, your experiences and all that other type of stuff, especially if you come from a family that didn't heal themselves prior to you coming into this world. So it's a lot. Like it's a lot that we have to deal with.
You can get real deep because like family trauma, that's like a whole nother thing that can seep into you so deep. And like you will never realize like how deep that seeps into you until you start to like try to go throughout the world. Like I went through a lot in my life, and so like I didn't ever realize all of my trauma was like affecting my relationships or affecting my mindset until I started to get older. And I was like, why do these same things, like same situations keep happening to me? Like what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn here that I clearly have not learned? So I mean, shout out to my therapist.
I know.
We've been working.
Karmic cycles and stuff. No, definitely. And it's crazy, like you talking about like that trauma that's like, you know, just kind of pent up and just sitting there, like residing there. And I found that like even in my own self, like it's crazy because, you know, I feel like a lot of Black women can resonate with this. Like as a defense mechanism, I realized that sometimes, like you were saying too, like I don't want other people to do things for me. Like I don't even want to put my livelihood or any aspect of my livelihood in your hands because, you know, in the past you've probably been let down or whatever. And it's like, I can't trust that you're going to do that. Like you have to come correct and, you know, probably, you know, follow through maybe 6 or 7 times before I fully put that trust in you to be able to lead me. And I feel like as Black women, we're all leaders, like in our own right. So when it comes to like us juxtaposed to men, it's like, can you lead me? Like, because if you can, then cool. I'm going to wipe my hands of it. But if you can't, then it's like, of course, I'm going to be, like, we're going to be butting heads. Because I'm going to feel like I can't trust you in anything that I want to do. Like, or that you want to do.
I went into a relationship telling him, like, you know, I have trust issues. I'm an open book. I have trust issues. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it's like, he was like, oh, I'm you know, I understand. He was there for me, everything. A couple months later, he did everything that I told him that I had past issues with, you know. And it was like I was an open book to you. You were my comfort. And then now I'm back to square one, dealing with the same traumas and bringing it into my next relationship. And that's why I said when dating, I was like, I need some time I have healing to do. Like, it's just hard. People don't understand, like, you have to self-heal. Sometimes I just need to be by myself. They're like, well, I'm going to help you get through it.
No. You can't.
You can't help me get through
Yeah.
what I need to get through. And that like and then that's like we take that on too. We think that it's our business or our responsibility to heal our friends, our partners, our siblings, our whoever. That's not our responsibility. It's up to them to do their own healing. And what their healing looks like is what their healing looks like. Because what works for you don't work for me.
Right.
So.
But at the same time, though, I realized this too, that I feel like, and I don't know if people really want to dive into this topic either, but I feel, and this is just my own personal view, but I feel like Black women are also like the pillars of like communities in general. Like we are always trying to fix the problems of someone else, and not because we just openly volunteer. It's like, I feel like we have a very empathetic like feeling to like the world and like the human race and society and everything of that sort. So we always feel like we have to solve the problems, and it's crazy because at the same time, a lot of Black women do have the solutions to these problems too. You get what I'm saying? So it's a very
a lot of
very
them are natural healers, like, and then we heal, and then we bring on all that energy, and then we're not even healing ourselves.
Yeah.
We're just pouring so much into you. Oh, I have to fix him, you know, into our family, fathers, mother, brother, you know, but we can't do it all, and then we get anxiety, and then we wonder why we're up at night. We wonder why we're having panic attacks and palpitations and all this, and just thinking too much because we have took on so much of that energy that we don't even know. We think, oh, okay, it's good, but no, that really sits with us.
Yeah.
You know, we start having weird dreams and start waking up feeling empty. You know, start going to sleep and just feeling so alone and just depressed, and we're just wondering why it's like that because we can't take on other people's problems, even family. Like, I've learned that, you know.
Yes.
And it's hard to learn that.
Trust me, it really is.
Because you want to be the helper.
I want to help you, of course. That's like my natural nature. Like, I love to help. I love to love, like, especially people that I care about. But I learned I cannot do it all because I'm going to crumble.
Exactly.
So.
And then I think it's also important that we learn that other people can't do it all either. Like, cause I feel like people always would come to me with like their issues and everything, and then it's just like you need to ask, like, is it okay if I dump this on you? And like, are you okay like to dump this on me? Like, can we get some type of mutual understanding that this is okay?
I seen a post the other day that was like basically like your friends are always coming to you with their issues, and then if you take a break, they just think like, oh, she's being phony, she don't want to talk to me. How about you ask me, are you okay? Are you going through anything?
Yeah. On top of the fact that I guess traditionally we haven't been practicing like, just ways to cleanse our auras and our energy and all that other type of stuff. Like I feel like as a society we're now just branching into that arena of like, maybe meditation and therapy. Yes, therapy.
Because we think help is a bad thing. Like,
exactly.
Oh my God, I'm not going to a therapist. Like, what? I don't need that. But actually, no. You sitting down and talking to somebody might actually help.
Yes.
I'm invested in that too, bro.
For sure. So we're going to pause this conversation. We're getting real juicy. And this is actually going into our next topic of mental health. So we'll be right back after this ad.
I just wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one.
Okay, so welcome back everyone. So now we're gonna jump into mental health. So mental health in regards to like your business life, your love life, your everyday life with your relationships, just how you walk in this world. Like, what about mental health, or what aspects of mental health do you hold true to your heart? Like, what are some of like your non-negotiables that you like have to do? Like, do you have to go to your therapy session, or do you have to meditate every day, or do you have to journal every day, or do you have to read affirmations, or like look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself I can do this? Like, what is it, or like what aspect of mental health is more important to you?
You can go.
Well, as a therapist, I just feel like I hold a regard to take care of myself. I can't be a good therapist to anybody, not my friends, not my clients, unless I'm taking care of me. So I have a prayer box. So I got just a plain box from Michael's, and I have a little journal in it, and I write like my prayers if I'm having like an overwhelming, anxious thought. And then sometimes I just have like a quick my next thing to do is buy a house. So I write down like, okay, I want a 3-bedroom house with 2.5 baths. I want these things. I need a dishwasher driveway. And those are specific prayers. I put them on a Post-it. I fold them up and I drop them in. I don't open them till I achieve the goal. I put little things in the box that are important to me. So like little gifts, or if a friend gives me a picture, or little stuff like that that holds true for me for the year. At the end of the year, I box it up from the shelf. That's something new that I've been starting. So it's different. It's different to actually write down my prayers as opposed to sitting at the edge of the bed on my knees like, God, please. I feel like that's so traditional, and it's hard to sometimes think about our words because our minds are racing, but to actually look at a book with a pen and focus on it, it helps me. And it's different than just like a regular journal, because I feel like a regular journal, you start talking about
Everything.
Your relationship problems, and then talking about
like a soap opera.
Mine too. I like that a lot, because I feel like there's an element of like the law of like detachment that you use with that. So like you'll write down your goal, or write down like a prayer, throw it in there, and not that you forget about it, but like you don't obsess over it, because when you obsess over like the steps, or like how you're gonna go about it, whatever. You just kind of put it out there, give it to God, and like just see it through, and allow it to become of you, so that it just flows into like your natural way of like living and everything, instead of like revisiting it every single day. Then you get obsessive, then you get nervous, and then you overthink it. So like I'm gonna have to use that for real.
You should, because like it really is like you said, give it to God. Like I know one thing, like my aunt, she always told me growing up, it's like when you pray about something, you can't pray and worry about something at the same time. Because when you worry about it, that means like you're not putting your faith in God, and not putting like you're not trusting Him. So like I actually do the same thing, except I don't have a prayer box. I have like a gratitude journal. So I do mine kind of like backwards. So same how like you say you want this, kind of like manifesting it. I do the same thing, but I like say it as if I already have it. So I know when I moved here, I've only been here for like a year. So I can, I'm from Arkansas, so I'm down in the South. Yeah, so I had like, find my new apartment, find a job, get all of this. So like I literally was like on my search, I said like, thank you God for giving me my 2-bedroom apartment, this and that. got it. So like, you know, it's the same type of thing.
I love that.
It's just like giving like your grace and like your thankfulness for everything that you have. I go to therapy. I go to therapy every week. Well, I'm down to like every other week now because, you know, I graduated.
Graduation.
So I go every other week. I also have like manifestations and just like things around my house. So different notes that I want to, like things that I want to achieve, or just affirmations around my house to keep myself motivated, to keep my mental health up. So I put them in places where I know I have to look every day. So it's like right in my bathroom door, because you're going to go to the bathroom several times a day. You're going to brush your teeth. Or like my front door has some on the back of my front door, because if I leave the house, they're right there. So I get to see everything that I'm like wanting, I want to have, I want to get to, what I'm thankful for. So I do all of those things too, because I think they really help. And I started like doing all of this a year ago, and I can totally see the difference, like totally see the difference.
I'm heavy on prayer. I like her idea, but like I pray. I was going through a bad time, like maybe 2 years ago or something, and my mom was telling me like pray, because I wasn't into church and things like that. And I said I do pray, and I didn't believe in it. She was like, well, how do you pray? And I was like, what do you mean, how do I pray? I pray to myself. She's like, do you say it out loud? I said no. She said you need to pray out loud and ask things for specifically what you want. You can't just say, oh, I need a better day. Like, what do you need to make it better? Like, be specific in your prayer. And it worked out for me, being specific and praying out loud. But I do like her idea as well.
I really love your idea.
Yes. I think the specificity is
Important.
so important, because my mom jokes like, I pray for a good father, right? But you have to pray like, okay, if you want your husband to be a good father, you have to pray for him to be a good father. You have to pray for him to manage money. You have to pray that he not dumb. You got to pray for the things that you want. If you want, you want your 2-bedroom apartment, do you want the bathrooms in the bedroom? Like, you have
Specific.
those specific things matter, because God gonna show you that 2-bedroom apartment, but
Is it what you want?
where's it at? Where's it at? What do it look like? Can you? Is it going to be what you need it to be? So.
Wow, I love that. So then, like, I guess, how's your mental health when it comes to like your work life? You know, just
Well, mine. Well, I have a good team at my job. You know, we all help each other. You know, I work with a lot of doctors. I see a lot of things. As far as my mental health, I see a lot of breast cancer patients, you know, because like I said, I do work in a plastic and reconstruction. Not only do they do plastic surgeries, but they also do cancer patients as well. And it is very sad to see, you know, people come in and out and just be so devastated that they just found out that they have cancer. And some days I'm just not feeling in the mood, you know. But I have to put on that smile for them and just say, you know, hey, welcome and everything. Okay, we're gonna get you set up with a, you know, good doctor, because once they go through the process of removing the breast, they have to get reconstruction. So of course you have to set, you know, book with the doctor, and just you giving them, they might be upset, but just you giving them a piece of like mind and just, you know, being nice and friendly, it really matters. Even though they might come in there and just be grumpy and rude, you have to actually keep that personality, you know, keep that professionalism in your workplace, because, you know, that's your job, you know. And some days I might not want to do that. Some days I might be going through a heartbreak. Some days, you know, my family might have pissed me off, but I still have to, you know, be professional. So honestly, what I do, I meditate a lot. I listen to ASMR. I don't know if people know that. It's not like chewing sounds or nothing. It's actually like, people make fun of this like I do. But it actually helps me, because when I started to get anxiety with things that was going on in my life, and my brother and my family, it really calmed me down. Excuse me. So, you know, I just kind of like incorporated that also into my business, like, because I know people love to be relaxed, you know. I really, really, really want to manifest peace and relaxation, and I'm really trying to do that at this point in my life. And I know sometimes the devil holds you back, but like she said, prayer, it really, really helps. You know, you have to really speak. And I've been kind of lacking on my prayers, and I see that God is telling me, hey, I'm in control. Like, listen, speak to me. You know, when you speak to me, I hear everything that you want, you know. So don't forget that. But I be so tired at night and everything. That's why I pray about it.
Yes.
But you know, I just have to pray more. And when I do pray more, I feel really good. The next morning, I feel like everything's taken care of and everything, you know. So I feel like, okay, I got it out. I didn't miss my prayers. Well, if I'm driving to work, God, I want to have a great day. I want to have a peaceful day. You know, I want to have a mind-free day. You know, not worry too much because I worry a lot. So, but I do think that I need to take on like more, what's it called? I guess, like you said, more ways of kind of managing my mental health. But so far, that's all I do.
If I have a job that I feel like is not doing well with my mental health, I will leave. I worked at Mercy. I left because I was coming home and taking my anger out on my son because I had a bad day at work because they was irritating me and pissing me off. And I told my mom, I was like, I can't do this. Like, it's just every little thing was nitpicking or, you know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I left. Now I'm at Hopkins. And I'm making a lot more money and I have a better job. So it's like it all works out. And, you know, I prayed about that. I was like, I can't keep coming home and taking my anger out on my son because I had a bad day at work.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's real.
It's important that you realize that though too, because some people will never realize that and then like create
the
a
awareness
further issue.
For real.
Right.
Yeah.
In denial.
How's your mental health with managing all this social media stuff and everything?
It fluctuates. So I think like with any job, you have like, you know, times that are stressful and then you have your good moments. Like for me, it's just hard because I feel like I can never fully unplug from anything. So like I know how like me personally before, like when I was in college and stuff, I would take breaks in social media. So I would be like off social media for like 3 or 4 months just so I don't have to look at this. Cause you know, I mean, even if it's not by habit, subconsciously, I feel like we compare, even if you don't intentionally try to do that, like, you know, in comparison can be a thief of joy. So like, you don't want to be like, oh, this person is like 24 already and they're making $1 million and I'm still in college struggling trying to get a job. You know what I'm saying? So like, I used to do that, but like, obviously now I can't do that because I work in corporate. Like I work for McCormick Spice. Like it's a huge spice company. A lot of brands. I run 5 brands alone across Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. So like that's a lot. So when the traumatic things happen in the world, that's when it becomes a lot for me because I constantly have to scroll. So like I vividly remember, like when Kobe passed away, like rest in peace to him. Lord. That was the most traumatic time to have to go to work. Like work was dreadful because I still have to do my job. Like I still have to like scroll on social media and like monitor the conversation and see if we can do this or if we can't do that. So it can be a lot. But then on the other side, like you have like your fun times. Like we're like McCormick is doing a partnership with like Tabitha Brown right now. Everybody knows Auntie Tabitha.
I love her.
So like we're doing a partnership with her. So like we just like released that we're gonna like we're trying to do the promo for our season. And so like that was so exciting for me. So I'm like, it's my first big launch. Like this is exciting. Everybody's so excited. So it just
like that, like so.
Yeah, like something like that.
like that.
Because that's our business.
I love it. I love it. And I know you said your mental health is like, I mean, I feel like you got all the tools. Like not, but you get what I'm saying. Like you're equipped. As for me, I'm not gonna say it's all over the place. I feel like I have like a routine system, but I do need to pray more. And pray more out loud, you know, just with the things that I want, you know, day to day or even in general. I do come into contact with a lot of people. But it's funny because an aspect of my business involves like mental health and involves like words of affirmation and everything. I try to like post those every Monday. And it's funny though because like on the flip side, like behind the scenes, I go through my own things as well. So I guess, you know, just having that balance of being able to give to others or, you know, give that motivational, you know, speech or, you know, motivational love to other people on top of giving that same love to myself. So yeah, definitely prayer. Like it's crazy because before I came in here, I was like, I always ask myself like, what am I going to learn today? Like, you know, and this conversation alone like helped me a lot. Definitely. Seriously.
Yeah.
So
and to add to that, honestly, I think one part of it, like actually helping your mental health, is just kind of taking a break if you can from the phone. Because I see that I'm on my phone a lot, if you can, you know, because I work with social media and, you know, sometimes I'm just not, like, in the mood to text or to, you know, be on social media. And I think that plays a part of it, too, like my mental health, seeing so much, you know, having to respond to this, having to respond to that. That's a lot of times why sometimes I just don't feel like responding, you know, or just talking. Sometimes we just need to be still and sit with ourselves. Like, hide your phone, just And also, it's kind of like it makes your head hurt, honestly. If you're headache, looking at the phone all day.
Receiving so much information.
Yes, because they be going in subconscious. And
and that's an aspect of it too. Like, you don't realize, like, the things that you see, like, go into your subconscious, and, like, I don't even remember what it was, but I had a dream about something that I saw. This so random, but I had a dream about something that I saw on social media. When I woke up the next day, I was like, but I wasn't even thinking that,
right?
Like, at all, like, really,
like,
right? Yes, like, it's. But I do find that I try to have grace with myself, simply because, like, even I'm pretty sure we're all trailblazers here. Like, not saying that our parents haven't already done what we're doing, but they probably done it in different ways. But we don't have, at least I don't have, like, a framework of how to run my business or how to go about business relationships, or, you know, be, you know, a business owner in this world. So, you know, just kind of really having grace with myself and just loving on myself more, I feel like is a big thing that I need to do. So,
I think a big part of loving on yourself is, we kind of touched on it earlier, but it's setting boundaries.
Girl, yes.
Those boundaries
and I'm
go
so nice. Like, I'm such a
yes.
terrible.
It's hard. It's hard, and especially, like, I'm a therapist, so people think that they can call me at midnight. Don't call me.
Oh, goodness.
Right? And when I first started, I'm picking up the phone. Oh my God, this person's in crisis. What am I supposed to do? Not answer the phone.
It's after
hours.
I can't talk to you right now because I can't do, like, why are you calling me? I'm not coming to get you.
Yeah.
I can't come in, like, legally I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then you feel guilty.
And I feel bad, and even with friendships, like, my friends are like, oh, you a therapist, you know. I don't know nothing.
I know, right? I don't know nothing.
I'm not your therapist.
You know.
Yeah,
my
right.
family, they like, well, can't you just, I can't call your child. I can't call your brother. I can't call them. That's not my job.
Yeah.
But setting those boundaries, it was hard, and it still is hard. I know my friends call and be like, let me tell you what this person, and I'm like, did you ask me how my day was? Did you ask me how many times I cried today?
Girl.
I cried 7 times today because I saw 6 different people, and they all had something sad to
You
tell
take
me.
a break from your friends. They, oh, she's phony. She is. It's not. Damn, let me check on her and see if she's going through something.
Exactly. And it's so crazy because, speaking of it, like, I've had that happen to me a lot because I've always been that friend that, like, didn't have boundaries. So therefore, people just felt like, oh, I'm gonna pour. Ma'am, let's take it back. Let's take it back. Oh, what's wrong with you? You acting funny? No, I'm just learning to keep my boundaries.
Actually, I am acting funny. I am, because I need to act funny right now. I need to have an attitude.
Maybe since you brought that up, this is what's been going on.
Yes, like why can't I have an attitude?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed.
No, for real. I find that, especially because I feel like growing up, I was just a very nice, friendly person. So my boundaries, I feel like now at the age of 29, I'm just really starting to set boundaries with people, and it hurts, like, it cuts deep sometimes, but I'm just like, if you want me to be here for you, I have to. Like, I can't sacrifice myself. Like, if you need, if you're gonna need me in the future. So,
because people don't understand. People want to understand, choose to understand. Like, what is it? They want to understand what they want to understand, but, like, they don't take the time to, like, let me put myself in your shoes and see how you feel about this, and maybe try to understand it from a different perspective, and just instead of only seeing it through, like, my lenses as, like you said, oh, you acting funny, or oh, you doing this. I cried today. I had a bad day.
like literally, I cried and was wiping my tears right before I answered the FaceTime. Like, for real.
Well, you want to go out and get a drink? No, let's talk.
Guys, for real.
Let's talk.
I'm that friend.
You said you're that friend?
I just be staying in the house a lot.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go out. I just want to be at peace and just to myself. And like, oh, no, come on out. You don't do nothing. I'm just trying to get myself together so I can go out, so I can have fun. Because I've noticed that when I'm in a mood, I project that onto my friends sometimes. Not really, but like snapping and everything, but I'm just not myself. Like, I'm just not myself.
Yeah,
I just don't like that. You're like, are you okay? I don't want you to have to ask me that, and then I start bawling and crying. So let me just stay home, get myself together. And I might not automatically say it, but it's there, so.
Yeah,
it's just.
I guess, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
Before
good.
we wrap up, do you guys discuss, like, mental health, like, with your friends? Like, Do you guys do that?
Child, everybody don't have the mental capacity to do
Yeah.
so. I hate to say that, but like, not all of your friends are going to be on that deeper level enough to be like, I'm having a really bad day. Like, it's based off of X, Y, Z. Like, you know, some people you unfortunately only can be surface level with. Like, I'm finally learning like who I can be, you know, on a deeper connection with, or who I have to just keep it surface with. And it's hard because it's like you want to be able to do both with everybody,
With
but
everybody.
Because some people think therapy and all that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But don't call me.
Yeah,
You want to go to therapy, but you want to call me. Don't call me.
like
Until you go. Until you
obviously
call
you need a therapist because you keep calling me.
Calling
so,
me.
Yeah, no, seriously.
And I think it's certain friends as well, like you can actually share certain stuff with that you feel comfortable. Like I know it's very few that I know I can call and get advice and feel, you know, comfortable. Because I am like an open book with my friends. But it's just those one friends that's really going to help you and say, hey, okay, well, you just need to get yourself together, do this, and then go forward.
Yeah.
You know, and you need people like that. Even if it's one person, you know what I mean? Or if it's a family member,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And then last question. I thought that was the last one, but then my mind started going. So have you guys discussed or even talked about mental health like in your like intimate relationships, like with your partner? Like has that even like been a thing that y'all talked about, scratched the surface on, or is, you know, he coming to you like, you know, like, babe, like my mind is going, like, you know, is that a topic of conversation in general? Like,
I found that at first it was hard for me to have that discussion because I knew that certain people were intimidated. But then I told myself, like, if they're intimidated by discussing their mental health, they're not for you. Because that's important to me.
Yeah, same.
Mental health is a value of mine. So if you can't tell me or you can't communicate about your mental health, you gotta go. Bye.
Yeah.
I think I realized a lot of guys, they weren't loved properly, so they don't know how to love properly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I bring, like, you know, therapy and bring it up, but it's always, oh yeah, I'll do that, and they never bring it up until you mess up. Then it's, oh, I was getting ready to call the lady.
Like, where she work at?
I was about to call the lady. No, you weren't. So
I think when it's, I guess when you reach a certain level, it's very important.
Yeah.
You know, like I know moving forward, when I do become in a relationship, I'm definitely going to have that talk. And if after a while you want to kind of shut down, because everybody's not comfortable having that talk, so I get it, okay, you know, and I'll take baby steps with you, but after a while we're going to have that talk, you know, like, how are you dealing with this? What are you dealing with this? Are you an angry person? You know, because if you're always on 10, I really want to know why. And if you are, I'm probably not going to want to talk to you, but I give everybody a fair trial. So I feel like just like moving forward, we definitely should have that type of talk. And some people are comfortable with that, and some people are just like, I don't want you in my head that way, you know, because it's going to bring out and make me think about stuff, and they don't want to think about stuff.
but sometimes you don't have to talk to me, but just talk to someone.
Somebody,
that can
yeah.
help you.
Yeah, because you have, it's never gonna go anywhere. Like,
Because
it's
you're not gonna project.
yeah, it's never going to go anywhere. And I had to learn that, like I'm, like I said, I'm still young, but like I started to grow, like learn that I used to like trauma dump a lot, and like I would end up having like trauma bonds with people. Like, so like we were both in these like extra trauma filled lifestyles, and we trying to help each other, but like we can't even help ourselves at the moment. So like now I'm very open. Like, yes, I go to therapy. That's my bestie. I'm going to therapy this Friday. Like, I'm very open with that. So it's like if you're not comfortable with that, then like you need to look at yourself in the mirror, because it's very common. Prayer is not the only thing. God put therapy here for a reason. So use it as you can, if you can. I know therapy is not like a financial option for everyone, but most definitely if you can, do it. Do a few sessions, try it out, all of that. So, yes. So I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. All of you beautiful ladies have gathered here today. Like, this was amazing. We are gonna have to do a part 2 for sure. And I think we killed it. Shout out to us. Ladies do it best, always. And with that, you know, stay true to your authentic self. We are all millionaires, and we are all kings, and what are we, honey? Queens.
Period.
I just wanna wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you. Okay, make me feel away, make me feel away. Shawty so